Hello everyone, welcome to this special edition Revive class. I am so glad that you are here today and I have great news. All you will need is your body weight and a mat. So go ahead and come on down into a comfortable seated position and we're gonna go ahead and get started. If you guys have never tried a Revive class before, this would be a mix between like a yoga and a Pilates where you're still able to feel a burn, maybe get a little sweaty, but you're also working a lot on the mental side of things and making sure that your body feels good at the end of your workout. So enjoy today and let me know what you think in the comments. All right, so go ahead and close your eyes and get into a comfortable seated position, maybe flipping those palms up towards the ceiling. Taking a deep breath in and starting to ground yourself. Exhale out and start to get settled. Maybe noticing that this is the first time that you've actually been still the entire day. Feeling your heart beat at its natural pace. And knowing that you should feel so proud of just showing up here today for you. When I looked into what message I wanted to share with you guys today, I actually took out one of my affirmation card books. And this one's called Work Your Light Oracle Cards, and I loved this message. So this message is about getting grounded. You are being called to get grounded. Your boundaries will become blurred as you're absorbing the energies around you and struggling to define what stuff is theirs and what stuff is yours. There are two types of people in the world: those who draw their energy from others and those who draw their energy from within themselves. Reflect on which one you are and carve out each day time to ensure your well is being replenished. It's easy to get swept up in everybody else's energies all around you. The quickest, most effective way of clearing any of this out and just allowing yourself to ground is by connecting with Mother Earth. So I challenge you guys, no matter what season it is, to take it outside and go spend some time in nature. Whether that's just a walk in the woods, or maybe you take your shoes off and you get barefoot onto the grass. Maybe it's the winter, so it might be a little cold, but get out in nature and really just try to release any energy that you're bringing onto yourself that's not yours. So often we can really hold on to a lot of things around us, especially if we're empathetic, and that can weigh us down. So today we're going to focus in on releasing any of the stuff that no longer serves us and really allowing ourselves to create some space for the things that do. So go ahead, if your eyes aren't already closed, keeping them closed here, go ahead and lift those shoulders all the way up to the ears, roll them up, down, and back. This time pairing your breath with it. Inhale, lift those shoulders. Exhale, release them down. Let's do one more big shoulder roll here. Up, all the way up, nice and high. Relax it out. Go ahead and take your neck down to one side, so ear to shoulder. It doesn't matter which side. Keeping those eyes closed if you can. Good, roll the neck around, switching over to the other side. Dropping that opposite shoulder, creating lots of space between the ear and the shoulder. Good, roll back around to that first side and then just go into a couple neck rolls here. Trying to release any of that tension. A lot of times we hold a lot of tension through our shoulders. Good, bringing it back through center. Sweep those arms all the way up to the top. And then we're just gonna drop down one side and then reach all the way up and over to the opposite. Good, take one deep breath here in. Exhale it out. Coming back through center, switching over, dropping that opposite arm, lifting up and over. Good, inhale and exhale, bringing it back through center. Good, gentle twist here. We're just gonna drop down one hand on the knee and then just gently gaze over that shoulder behind you. One deep breath here, inhale. Exhale, switch sides. Connecting that opposite hand to the opposite knee, letting that gaze follow. One deep breath. Exhale out. Go ahead and swing those legs all the way around, and we're gonna get right into it here. Starting off onto our mat, hands are directly underneath the shoulders. And then knees are underneath hips. We're gonna drop our belly, lift our gaze up into a cat and a cow, dropping the belly, rolling through that spine. Good, back down. So this one's gonna be our cow pose. Good, and then exhale into that cat pose. Let's go ahead and do that one more time, maybe feeling a little bit more motion through that spine as we loosen up. Exhale around. Good, and then bringing it back through center. Tabletop position here, we're gonna extend out our right leg out nice and long. And then from here, lifting out that left arm. So reaching as far as possible in front of us. Now, if you want the extra challenge, you're just gonna lift that foot off the ground. This whole next series can still be done with our foot on the ground. From here, we're gonna exhale, draw knee to elbow around the spine. Inhale, lengthen and reach, but without arching that back. So I don't want you going into that full extension. Try to just keep it nice and flat. From here, exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. One more time, exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen back out, holding here into that spinal balance. Let's go little pulses here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we can either just set it down and wait till the other side, or if you guys want a little bit of a challenge, you can try to reach for that foot. And then we're just gonna go into a little baby back bend. Now, if this is not available to you at all, go ahead and hang out here. You can always just flex through that toe, pressing back into a little calf stretch. If we have this bind, lifting our fingers and our toes up as high as we can towards that ceiling, and then that gaze follows, looking up. Hold it here. Hand into foot, foot into hand, press nice and hard for 3, 2, and 1. Setting it down. Shifting back into child's pose. One deep breath here. Exhale out. Go ahead and switching it over to the opposite side now. So left leg is going to extend out nice and long. Right arm is going to reach directly out in front of us. Keeping the foot on the ground if you need to modify. We're going to exhale, draw, knee to elbow, round through the spine. Inhale, lengthen, and pause for just a second, checking in with your back, making sure it's not arched. Good. Exhale, draw, knee to elbow. And when I mean arched, I just mean over-arched. Inhale, lengthen. So you don't want to be like really up high here. Just keep it nice and neutral. Last time, exhale. Good. Inhale, lengthen back out. Hold that neutral spine position. We're going to go into those little pulses. Beautiful. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Set the foot down and you're going to just sink back into that calf stretch or grabbing onto that foot. It helps to look sometimes physically at your foot. And then you're going to press up nice and high. The key with this is pushing your hand as hard as you can into your foot and your foot as hard as you can into your hand, and then lift and reach for 3, 2, 1. Setting it down, sitting back into that child's pose one more time. Good, deep breath here. Bringing it back up, and then we're gonna go right into that downward facing dog. Good, so immediately maybe pedaling out those feet, dropping into the opposite heels, really pushing through that calf, but still warming up here. So try to keep it somewhere between a 5 and a 6 on the stretch scale. Good, and then drawing that chest really close towards those thighs, almost allowing your head to sink through the shoulders. One deep breath here, inhale. Exhale, go ahead and let those feet go out a little bit wider, and you're gonna walk those hands all the way back towards your feet. If you need to modify here, sink down into a bent knee position. Release that head down, shake yes and no. Good. From here, we're gonna go into a slow roll all the way up to the top. Good. From here, sweep those arms all the way up, and then bringing those hands into heart center. Good. So one deep breath here, and just go ahead and settle back in. Little bit of a yoga flow warm up there. You might feel your heart rate starting to elevate already, or maybe your body's starting to warm up. One deep breath, inhale, sweep those arms all the way up towards the top, grabbing onto our right wrist. We're gonna lean up and over to that left side. Good, from here, sweep it back up, switching over opposite side. Back through center, release those hands all the way back behind you, interlace your fingers behind your back. Good, maybe feeling a little bit more of a stretch if you lift those hands off of the hips. Good, keeping that bind if you can. We're gonna exhale into a forward fold. With that bind, you're gonna lift your fingertips up nice and high towards the ceiling. If you can't quite get there, maybe they're just a little bit off your back, that's okay too. Good, exhale, release those hands down to the ground. We're gonna drop our left hand down, our left knee is gonna bend, and then our right arm is gonna open. Good, drop it down, and then switching over. Right arm down, right leg bends, left arm comes up. It's like the game of Twister. Good, release that hand back down. Inhale, halfway lift into a flat back. Exhale into a forward fold. We're gonna walk all the way out to that high plank position. Now, if you guys are a little bit more advanced, you can go into a push-up here. It's gonna be a narrow stance, so hands are gonna be directly underneath the shoulders, a little bit closer together. You can always set down the knees to modify here. And I'm gonna challenge you to go into 3 push-ups if you wanna make this a little bit more challenging. Now, if we don't wanna do push-ups today and we're not having it, we're just gonna sink right back into child's pose. So, sinking into those push-ups. When you get done with that last one, maybe going into an upward facing dog. If you're in child's pose, just hang out there. And then going into that child's pose. Good. So we just start with one little flow here. We're gonna get right into our Pilates. So going up into that tabletop position here, hands and knees, we're gonna extend out our right leg to start off with. Now, just like our lifts before, we're just gonna turn to the side now. So if our right leg is back, we're gonna shift onto that left arm. So hopefully you can face towards me. If you need to swing around, that's fine. So from this position, hips are stacked, arm is nice and in line with the shoulder. It shouldn't be out to here. You should feel kind of stable here. From here, we're gonna take the hand back behind the head and we're gonna go up into a lift and then tap it down. So we're gonna go lift and tap, lift and tap. Beautiful, so pointing that toe, keeping it nice and long all the way from the crown of your head down to the toes, and then making sure we're not sinking into it. So I don't want you to start pushing your butt back. Try to keep yourself in a nice straight line. Good. Last one here, we're gonna lift all the way up, and then we're gonna go into little pulses. You know that that's coming. Good. Lift nice and high, keep it up really high here. Good, breathe through it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squaring off, we're gonna push all the way up into a 3-legged dog. Same leg is gonna come up towards the ceiling now. Maybe we bend, twist, and open it, feeling a little stretch through that hip. Good. Lifting that leg up nice and high again, one more time into that 3-legged dog, and then we're gonna exhale, drive knee to right elbow. Right knee to right elbow. Inhale, lengthen back up. Good. Going across that body, right knee to left elbow. Hold it here. Inhale, lengthen back up to the top. Exhale, we're gonna step all the way through, modifying if you need to by taking that left knee down towards the ground. Good, when you get there, inhale, sweep those arms all the way up into that runner's lunge position. Good, we're gonna exhale, drop through, lean forward. Hands are gonna really try to stream back behind you. Flexing through the triceps, keeping your body weight forward over the top of that front leg. Good, you should start to feel that booty fire up from the front here. We're gonna inhale, sweep those arms back up to the top. Good, one more time, sweeping back down. This time we're gonna take flight, lifting off that back leg, holding onto our balance here. Breathe. Find something to stare at that's not moving. Don't look at me. For 5, 4, 3, 2, set that foot back down, lifting those arms up one more time. And then we're just gonna step through. So that back leg's gonna come up into a single leg balance. From here, taking it up and over, hands come to heart center, stretching out through the glute. Deep breath. Exhale, bringing those hands up, setting that foot back down. Good, bring the hands down to the ground, step back into that high plank position, going into those 3 push-ups if you want, or we can just set down right into upward facing dog. And then we're gonna tuck under into that downward dog. Woo, we did that pretty fast. Good, so go ahead and bring it back down onto our knees. We're gonna go onto that other side now. I'm gonna swing around just for the sake of you guys being able to see me. So left leg is gonna extend out now, and we're gonna roll onto our right hand. Remember this? Seems like a year ago, huh? From here, hand comes back behind the head. Your knee should be stacked directly underneath the hip, hand underneath the shoulder. From here, we're gonna lift and tap, lift and tap. Totally normal if you lose a little bit of balance here, because it's a core challenge. That's why we came here. It needs to be challenging. So if you get frustrated with yourself for losing your balance, try not to. Breathe through that and know that with every wobble, you're getting stronger. Last one, we're gonna hold it up here. Let's go into pulses. Nice job. Should be a little shaky by now. If you're not, you can always add on ankle weights here. Beautiful, stay strong, lifting that leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squaring it off, we're gonna press right up into that three-legged dog. So whatever leg was just up, it's now gonna lift up into that three-legged dog. Good, maybe bend, twist, and open through that hip. Good, we're gonna exhale, draw knee to elbow, left knee to left elbow. If we need to modify, we just set down that opposite knee. Inhale, lengthen back up. Good, exhale, knee draws to outside elbow. So we're going across the body now. So left knee to right elbow. Inhale, lengthen back up. Good, exhale, stepping through. Modifying by setting that bottom knee down. Once you get there, tucking those toes back under, sweep those arms up. Good, taking 1 second here to just acknowledge how much work you've already put in, and you are almost there. Stay strong with me. Exhale, we're gonna sink down, leaning forward, dropping the chest, but still keeping good posture here. Streaming energy all the way through the edges of those fingertips, keeping that body weight forward. Inhale, lengthen, back up to the top. Sinking down low, don't forget about our lunge. Exhale, drop forward, preparing ourselves for that flight. Good. Maybe we inhale up one more time. I'll give you a little bit more practice. Exhale, drop forward, this time popping up. Maybe this is your weaker side, maybe it's your stronger side. Stay focused. Looking down directly at something that's not moving. Lifting that leg nice and high. Can we lift it higher? Really streaming those arms back. Maybe you bring them in the front just to make this a little harder. For 5, 4, 3, 2, ooh, almost lost it. Last one, setting it down. Arms lift up. We're gonna step forward here. Taking that leg that was just back, we're now gonna lift it up and over into a figure 4 stretch. Now, if this is ever way too hard, you can always do this next to something like a countertop or table, or have like a little stool next to you so you can hold on to it in case you ever lose too much balance. Good, bringing it back through, stepping back, setting those hands down towards the ground. Take the knee down if you need to modify, or going right into that step back, dropping down into our 3 push-ups if you want to get crazy, or just going into that upward dog, and then down into our downward dog. Tucking those toes under. You made it. Good, setting those knees back down to the ground. Great job. We are going to flip it over onto our backs. So finishing out here, after those little yoga flows, you should feel nice and loose, ready to do a little bit more work. We're going to do some booty and core here. So from this position, you are going to lift up your hips, and then we're gonna extend out our left leg. Our right arm is gonna come back behind our head, and as we drop the hips, we're gonna drive the knee to elbow, and then we're gonna inhale, lift up. Good, so it's exhale, drop, inhale, lift. Exhale, drop, inhale, lift. Good, so the same time we're working the core, we're also working that booty. So it's a 2-for-1 deal, you're welcome. Because in these shorter workouts, in order to make them effective, we really have to maximize our time. Good, exhale, twist, lift it up. Last one here. Good, keeping that leg up there. We're gonna drop down, lift up. Little leg lifts here, keeping those hips nice and high. If we need to set the hips down because this is too hard, feel free. Otherwise, get that booty off the ground, lift up. Good, squeeze the core for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go into a little twist here. So keeping that leg up, just going into little twists. You can keep that leg bent, just little lifts with that shoulder. Both hands can come up and back behind the head. Just going into a little core burnout here. Good, big rotation up to the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Woo. All right, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other, you know. So lifting those hips up to start off with, and then you're gonna extend out that right leg. Left hand comes back behind you. When you're ready, dropping it in, rotate. Inhale, press those hips up. Good, drop down, rotate. Really try to focus here, you guys. So don't just go through the motions. You wanna actually think about what muscle groups are working, where you're at with your form. And I always like to imagine myself like if somebody were posting this all over the internet when my form looked good, which of course I'm actually posted all over the internet. You're not, but just pretend. Keeping those hips up nice and high as you go up into that single leg bridge. The higher the better here. Lifting up. Good, last one. Up, lift and hold. We're gonna go into those leg drops here, keeping that hip up nice and high, dropping the leg up and down. It's really, really hard to keep the hips up here, so really make sure you're digging into your heel of that foot that's on the ground, and then dropping that leg as low as possible. Lift back up. Woo, make it burn, baby. Lift up those hips a little higher for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna drop that knee and just go into those little twists here. Shoulder lifts up over the top. You can place both hands back behind the head. If you wanna go into those little torso rotations, a little bit more. Breathe, stay with it. Lifting the shoulder, engaging the core, really flex through that core. In 4, 3, 2, 1, setting it down. Woo, nice job here. We are going to go back into our side, laying down this time. So you're welcome. We're gonna lay down, taking the hand underneath the head. You can also place yourself all the way down, or you can lift up onto your forearm. It's kind of a preference on you, whatever feels best. I like this way. So from here, you're gonna take your legs and slightly put them towards the front of your mat, placing your hand directly in front of your body, engaging the core right from the start. So brace your core like I'm gonna punch you in the stomach. From here, you're going to lift that leg and then you're gonna tap down. Lift and tap, lift, tap. Good, so pointing through that toe, keeping your body nice and neutral here. So you don't wanna like open those hips every time you lift the leg, and you also don't wanna get lazy with the core. Even though I like to call this lazy girl Pilates, this is like stuff you can do while you're watching your favorite show on Netflix. 3, 2, we're gonna go into a little circle backwards. So circle that leg back, and even don't bother looking at me, look at your leg and make sure that you're actually drawing circles. It's really easy to start drawing like squares or squiggles. Good, if you need to keep that leg lower to modify, go ahead. In 3, 2, 1. We're gonna set that leg in front of our body just slightly. So that foot is gonna be in front of you. I'm gonna scoot back just a little bit here. And then kick that foot out. From here, you're gonna lift into a rainbow lift to the back and then go into the front. To the back, to the front. Now at this point, your leg should start to feel really freaking heavy, and you might wanna like slightly slap me. But don't do that. Don't throw anything at the TV, it's expensive. Just stay strong here, lifting that leg as high as possible up and over, going into those rainbow lifts. In 4, 3, 2, keep it in front. We're gonna flex that foot now and go into little lifts up in front. Now the further you can get that leg up, the better. So if you wanna make it like really hard, go directly in front. If we need to keep it a little easier, we go to the 45. Holy burn. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, we're gonna drive the knee to elbow and then set it down. Knee to elbow and set it down. We can place our hand in front of our body if we wanna make this a little harder, and then lift up. If you wanna make this really hard, both legs. We're gonna finish out here. We just have that other side and then you guys are done for the day. Woo! Lift it up, squeeze. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. We're switching right over to that other side. No breaks here. All right. So placing ourselves down, same type of thing, you guys. When you're doing this, make sure that your body is in a straight line from the front, the top, to here, and then your legs will slightly go out in front to start off with. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Lift and tap. Good. I like to call these workouts feel-good workouts for a reason. because sometimes you just do not feel like it. And so if you're not feeling a super heavy, intense workout, although this may feel pretty intense today, but we're not like jumping, right? We're not pushing super heavy weights. We're not exhausting ourselves. It's just some leg lifts, no big deal. 3, 2, 1, let's go little circles back. Watch your circles. Make sure you're pointing your toe, lengthening. It's very normal for this side to get fatigued faster because we just kind of worked the other side. Yep, so believe it or not, that bottom leg actually does have something to do with it. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're gonna go into those rainbow lifts. And if your leg feels like 1,000 pounds, you're right there with me. Take breaks as you need to. Stay strong. You did this on one side. You can do it on the other. Good, just think about that booty lifting as we speak. Nice toned thighs. The core is also working. Make sure you're engaging, so keeping it steady the whole time. Just because we're not doing crunches doesn't mean we're not working our core here. Let's go one more lift, forward and back. Once you get to the front, flex that foot, and we're gonna lift and lower. This is the one that everyone wants to kill me on. Good. If we wanna go harder, we bring that leg directly out in front of us. If we wanna go a little easier, it's to the 45. Oh. Stay with me for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, hand comes out in front. We're gonna lift that leg, drop. Now you can just do this laying on the ground, okay? Level 2 would be lifting onto that elbow. Level 3, both knees are lifting. Good, squeezing that side oblique, making it burn, baby. Burn, baby, burn. Good, 3, 2, let's finish off one more, and relax. You did it. Woo, all right. We are gonna stretch because that booty is probably still burning a little bit here. We're gonna start with the opposite leg that we were just working. So if your left leg was just up in the air, we're gonna use our right leg in front first to stretch. So from this position, we're gonna go into a pigeon stretch, which is my favorite. So I like to call this a cheerleader pose. You can just sit on your butt like this and then let your legs fall off to the side. That's how you get into it. From this position, you can just simply drop your chest. This could be your pigeon pose today. If you want to intensify this a little bit, you're gonna extend out that leg directly behind you. Now with this pose, a lot of times our foot can kind of go off to the side. Keep it straight behind you. And then from here, dropping that chest down. Let's take a deep breath in, inhale. Exhale out. You may be a little bit shaky. Whew, that heart rate may be up. Or maybe your actual mind is just the one that's being challenged today. No matter what that challenge looks like or feels like, you should feel proud of yourself for pressing play, getting here today, and showing up for yourself. As a reminder, in the beginning of class today, I reminded you guys all to ground yourself at some point, hopefully today. Hopefully it's not too late in the day when you're doing this video. But go outside, take your shoes off, put your feet on the ground, right into the grass, and just like take some deep breaths here. Maybe shaking off any of that stress that doesn't belong to you, any of that tension around you, maybe from your friends, your family, your loved ones. If you're anything like me, you're often the person that everyone vents to, which is great. I literally love it. But it is very easy to hold on to other people's stuff. So together we're going to take a deep breath in. I want you to inhale in all of that love you have for everyone else. And then you're going to exhale any of the shit that you're carrying. Do that again. Deep breath in, filling the lungs all the way to the crown of the head. Exhale out. Sinking yourself down, maybe even further into that stretch. One more deep breath here. Lifting ourselves up, maybe opening those eyes if they were closed. Inviting you to take a stretch here. If you can grab onto that leg, if not, no fear, no worries. You can just stay right here, okay? If you want a little bit extra stretch through the hip flexor and quad, you're going to lift up, grabbing onto that ankle. Deep breath here. And exhale out. Good. Just shifting over, opposite side now. Good. Taking it into that cheerleader pose to start off with. This was our modification. Just lifting up and over, or going into that full extension all the way back. A tip here, if you guys feel like you're super tight in your hips and you're up nice and high, you can always place a block or a pillow underneath your hip, or you can also play with the angle of your foot in the front by pulling it out is harder, in is easier, okay? When you get there, taking ourselves down to that ground. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, melt yourself down onto that mat. If your mind starts to wander here, I just want you to return back to your breath, using it as a guide to stay present and really just allow yourself to cherish these moments of stillness. A lot of times we're so busy with to-do list and the chaos all around you that we forget what it's even like to be still. Time starts to slow down a little bit once you do that. So if your time is feeling like it's just flying by, try to do more of this. And even just those couple minutes outside in nature, doing those deep breaths can help so much. Inhale in. Exhale, allow yourself to melt even further onto that mat. Releasing any tension from your jaw, if you're clenching your teeth or releasing your fingers. Good. Slowly start to walk it back up to the top. And then swing those legs around. We're going to go into a forward fold stretch after a little bit of windshield wipers here. So taking those feet about mat width apart, dropping those knees to one side, and then to the other side. Side to side a couple times. And then legs are going to be all the way out in front. Inhale, lift those arms up. Exhale, reaching for those toes. If you can't quite grab onto those toes, taking those hands underneath your calves, and then just gently pulling yourself forward. Not really huge on posture in this pose. You guys can kind of just let your body naturally fall and not forcing it. Good, deep breaths here. Beautiful. Taking one leg in, going slightly to the side. We're just going to take the elbow, bringing it in towards our knee, and then lift up and over into a side body stretch. This should feel really good for the lower back too. Breathing in through that side body. Good. Switching it over, opposite side. Leg comes out nice and long. Elbow drives in, lift up and over. Good. Finishing just like we started here, taking both legs across and then going into our little twist here. Maybe noticing how much different you feel from the beginning of the workout to the end. Switching it over, other side, and also feeling gratitude for yourself for not giving up. You could have pressed stop or pause, or maybe you did pause and you came back. Just feel proud of yourself here today. Bringing it back in through center. Inhale, sweep those arms all the way up to the top. Exhale out. One more time, deep breath in, inhale. Bringing those hands to heart center, exhale out. Leaning forward, bowing your head. Thank you guys so much, so much for being here today. I appreciate every single one of you so much. Have a great day. Namaste. Bye, you guys.